thinking next week we get something funkier and dirtier. Daddy. Hey, one time my wife and I, crazy. All right, it may take you a while. It may take you quite a bit of time to find it. But, okay, everyone, Christ, I need some help. Can I have a heart?
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Gabe, Gunner, Big Dave, Landon, Luca, Brower, and of course Damon Dale. And I'm assuming I missed a couple other guys out there. This is for the Bengal freshman football team. They just had their first orientation today. So they are officially freshmen. My youngest is a freshman in high school. That makes me feel a little bit old. Welcome to episode 105. My name is Chris Rubio, host of the Rubio Method. You can just call me Rubio. You can always email myself or Jenna, just rubio@therubiomethod.com. Shout out to everyone that's watching right now on LinkedIn. What do we got? Rumble, X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you have any comments, feel free to shoot them out. I know some people have already found out what the topics are. A little bit fired up. We might have a special guest star come on just because he got so fired up. So what are the topics? Okay, so here we go. So for everything happens for a reason, we're going to talk about a mainstream reporter interviewing a dead child. I did not stutter on that. Okay. Mainstream reporter interviewing a dead child. Very bizarre. Not comfortable with it. There are winners and losers of life. If you are in the SNAP program or food stamps or anything like that, you're going to learn to hunker down because it's being adjusted just a tad. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. I know you're going to find that shocking. Accept and embrace. What the hell? Who in the hell is advising the NFL right now? You got the NFL basically just finished week 2. I think they have one more week of preseason, and then all hell breaks loose. And they're putting out some new things that are just, what are you guys doing? What's happening here? Working hard is not enough. I want to talk about how tipping is getting out of control. I mean, way out of control. And I saw a wild animal challenge that I wanted to bring up to see if anyone had any comments on, especially Jenna, because she killed a bat one time in the kitchen. And then confidence is the key. We have 5 quick questions from Jenna. She might show me some videos. She might do some stuff, have what my opinion is on it. We'll go from there, see what she's going to try to stump me. I always try to say, hey, see if you can find something that's going to stump me, or if someone has an email question into rubio@therubiomethod.com if they can stump me. All right, so let's get moving here. Everything happens for a reason. All right, in 2018, there was a mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, that killed 17 people and injured 18 others. Obviously tragic, okay? Mass shootings of any kind, 1 person, 2 person, 10 people, 17 people and 18 injured. That's not a good thing at all. Obviously very, very tragic. It's happened. We're looking on 7 years ago. Well, Jim Acosta is a former CNN reporter. He's got his own little podcast because he's been fired because no one was watching his show. So he's got a little podcast like the Rubio Method, just not as popular. And he decides, you know what, with AI, I'm going to interview one of the Parkland victims. So they've got this image of this kid who was about to turn 25 years old. So this is 7 years later, happened when he was 18. 7 years later, on his birthday, Jim Acosta, quote unquote, brings this kid. His name is, what is his name? Joaquin Oliver on. Now he got the parents' permission and all that. And there's a sub story on that. But Jenna, do you have this like 15 to 20 second clip of Jim Acosta interviewing this kid?
I would like to know what your solution would be for gun violence.
Great question. I believe in a mix of stronger gun control laws, mental health support, and community engagement. We need to create safe spaces for conversations and connections, making sure everyone feels seen and heard. It's about building a culture of kindness and understanding. What do you think about that?
Okay. So here's what happens. You get a picture, and then they just put AI to it, artificial intelligence. And you can, this one particular, they said they went through his past posts. So it just swallows up every single bit of information that you've ever said. And it formulates an answer for you because he asked him before. Another question was, so who do you think is going to win the NBA championship this year? And he goes, I really think the Lakers and LeBron will take it, because it went back, and 8 years ago, he talked about LeBron and the Lakers one time. If it interviewed me after I died, it would say like, okay, what's the most fearful thing you could find about it? And I would say a redhead convention. If I went into a convention and there was just all redheads, it would obviously be very, very frightening. I've told you my theory on them. And so that it just goes off of that. Now, number one, ew. And don't get me wrong, I've never lost a child to murder, never had a child be killed, never had a child die on me. The closest person I've ever had die to me would probably be my aunts, my uncles, my grandmother, my mother-in-law, I'll talk about in a second. But a child's obviously a whole separate level. But this is past the point of weird because, and I'm not throwing bones, but this mom has been talking to the AI version of her son, I guess, every day for the past 7 months. I'm not a psychologist, but I can't feel that that is healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand how you miss people and things like that. And sometimes that's all you want. You just want one more minute with them. My mother-in-law, Barb, she passed away 6 years ago today. And my wife sent me the message. Of course, I forgot, which I was stupid of me. But it's one of those, she was a great friend to me. I spoke to her. I think I spoke to her more than I did her daughter spoke to her. I'm pretty sure I did because I'm more of a talker, obviously. And it's one of those things that, do I want to hear her talk? Yes, I do. Do I have videos of her talking? Yes, I do. Are they AI videos? No, they're not. I still have voicemails from my aunts and uncles and my mother-in-law and my grandmother when they spoke and they, hey, Christopher, where are you at? Blah, blah, blah. Because it's just nice memories. You know, every once in a while, you feel a little sentimental. You're watching the Hallmark Channel now that the fall's coming and you just want to trip down memory lane. Do I want to talk to an AI version? I don't know. I can't answer, but I'm leaning towards no, just because it's so weird. And not to mention interviewing them, because you can move the interview any way you want. You can cue the AI to say, okay, we want him to talk about more gun control. He's going to talk about more gun control. And you're like, well, Rubio, once it's in there, it's in there. No, it's not. Okay. So this is a picture that I have of myself and my mother-in-law, Barb. Great photo. Love it. Fantastic. We're in the kitchen. I don't know when it was. Okay. And this is me. I would always dance with her, hold her hand. We were just funny like that. And so I run it through Grok Images. Grok is the social media X. Now Grok is like, it's AI. Everyone there's Chat GPT, there's Grok. So Grok has this new image thing. And if you follow Elon on social media at all, he's been pumping it out. Like, okay, you got photos, we can manipulate them. And so I posted that photo into Grok and I just said, go, let's see what it does. So Jenna, do you have the first video? I mean, kind of cool, but kind of creepy. Like Jenna was watching that before we were going through the show rundown and she's like, oh my God, I've got chills. And it's good, but it's weird. Actual voice recordings are priceless. Oh yeah, Matthew Askren says actual voice recordings are priceless. Yeah, that's why I have all those, any videos that I have of them talking, or any, where they left a message. Hey, Barb used to call me Twofer. Hey, Twofer, this is Barb, just seeing what you're doing. Sorry, blah, blah. And you don't think about it, but once you get those messages, you're like, oh, this is so cool that you get to hear it. But those are originals. And now this is AI. And this is where it gets super spooky to me. So I ran that same exact image through and I said, make it funny. And so Jenna, let's see about making it funny. For those that are listening on Spotify and iTunes, it was basically Barb and I hugging, dancing, / I think she does some sort of reverse suplex on me. I'm not sure what that move is, but it somewhat looks real. And those that knew Barb, honestly, she could have done it. She was a tough, very tough, and she could have done it to me. And probably I would have let her take me down. But it's one of those things that I don't know. Jenna to me seems more spooked about it than I am. I just thought it was very, very bizarre that I feel bad for the mom, because the mom's obviously hurting bad. And if she's trying to talk, okay. Oh, Matt says that's a monkey flip. That's got to be a wrestling thing. That's why you don't ever trust wrestlers. Yeah. So she did a monkey flip on me in AI, and you could do anything. Like I could have said, okay, I want Barb and I to cheers on the top of the Eiffel Tower after. You can get it done. And it's cool, but it's one of those things, like I keep saying, I don't know if I'm fully on board with it, just because it's so weird. And it's cool to see that brought back to life. And this is just the beginning, AI technology. Can you imagine what this is going to be like in 2 years? I won't even say 5 years, 10 years. I'd say 2 years, because it's advancing daily. If you follow Elon on X, he's literally, okay, another update, another update, another update, another update, because it's learning so fast, which is a whole side issue. All right, let's move on. There are winners and losers in life. All right, SNAP benefits. What is SNAP? Someone's asking. SNAP is supposed to be a supplemental nutrition program meant to provide health food benefits to low-income families. So, food stamps, that's what it is. Okay. It stands for something. I didn't look it up. So you're thinking, okay, Rubio, how much can this, what's the issue here? Well, El Trumpo's decided to go in and say, hey, if you're on the SNAP program and we're giving you money, and you're thinking, Rubio, how much money are we talking here? We're sending them $405 million a day. $405 million a day. El Trumpo and RFK Jr., who's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, has said, okay, we're doing this. You cannot buy sugary drinks and candy. No more sugary drinks and candy, because what's going to happen, you know what? I'll let RFK say it himself. Jenna, do you have this video of RFK?
SNAP waivers now in 12 states. We spend $405 million a day on food stamps, and about 18% of that is going for candy and sugary drinks. And we are actually paying for people to get diabetes at the outset, and then we're paying again when they get it through Medicaid and ultimately Medicare. When I was a kid, the average pediatrician would see one case of diabetes over a 40 or 50-year career of juvenile diabetes. Today, it's 38% of our kids. We are poisoning them with sugars and ultra-processed food, and the taxpayer should not be financing that.
Yeah, like Jenna said, she goes, number one, I agree. Number two, we should be thanking them. Yeah, this is one of those controversial issues that I don't get it. Okay, you're thinking to yourself, well, the argument could be, well, these poorer kids that are on these benefits, they need sugar and candy. You can't. Everyone else can buy it, but they can't. No, they don't. When I was growing up, I was fat. Do you know how much sugary stuff my mom bought me? Zero. I'd have to go to my buddy Mason Dossie's house, and I'd have to raid his pantry, and then I would get food from him because he was skinny, and his mom would let him get sugary treats. So my mom literally, I don't think there was ever, she would buy Rocky Road ice cream, which she knew I wouldn't touch because it's trash. Okay. And there is sugar and candy and baking. Yes, you're right, Jenna. But it's one of those people are always saying, like, well, I can't go get my kid a birthday cake because I can't go to the frozen food section and get just the frozen birthday cake, or can't go to the bakery. Yeah, you can. You can go make it. So they're not saying you cannot buy sugar. Okay. You just can't buy sodas, candies, and chips. Okay. So if you would like to make a healthier alternative, feel free. You're still getting your money. And they put another little stipulations in there. 12 states have altered the benefits to limit junk food. Idaho is one of them. I think there's about another 14 that are about to do it. The new stipulations are you have to be working or training. So training for a job at least 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month. That's not a lot. Say the average person works 40 hours a week, you're working half the time. Okay, so if you do that, and they even give you a 3-month limit. So if you can't do it for 3 months, like you just, for some reason, you cannot find a job and or training, they will still give you 3 months of SNAP benefits, but then they will say, all right, man, you're cut, because too many people are taking advantage of it. And trust me, I know this is true. I've seen a lot of people do it, where when I grew up, there was a family across the street that they wrote. What the hell is that? Seriously crazy. They rode that wave like it was going out of style. So it's one of those things that, yes, there should be limits on it. We shouldn't have to pay for just junk food. That you can get a lot of food for cheap if you get the healthy alternatives: rice, beans, certain types of meats. Okay, it's very easy. Jenna says immigrants do it. Yeah, they do it all the time. And one of the other things was that El Trumpo switched was you have to be a U.S. citizen to be on this program. Why is that a controversy? So you have to be a U.S. citizen to get U.S. benefits? Yeah. I don't understand. And it just makes zero sense. I don't understand why that would even be controversial. Okay, you can't soak up my AC if you don't live in my house. You want my AC, you got to come in my house, and I got to let you in. But if you don't have AC, you lose. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. So do I think this is a good thing? Absolutely. Do I think it'll end up helping everyone in the long run? 100%. You can't even argue that. Or were they arguing like, oh, because we want less food dyes in all our food. Like, as red dye is really bad. And they're like, okay, but we can't stop it. Yes, you can. I just don't understand. This should be a no-brainer at all. Also, what else is a no-brainer, Jenna? Everyone watching The Ride with Chevy and Nasty tonight at 9:30 p.m. Pacific, or AC with AC Sports Live at 9. They will be on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, all those good ones. Don't forget AC Sports Live at 9 and The Ride with Chevy and Nasty at 9:30. And on that note, Jenna, let's take a quick break. I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method.
Let's get going, gang!
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. Artbeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Whitney at One Shot Charlie's. I'll be there this weekend. I expect bells on. I might be bringing a redhead. Lock down the doors. Accept and embrace. NFL has implemented that all 32 teams will again be forced to pencil a social justice message in their end zone. I can't even say it. It pisses me off. Social justice message in their end zones. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know who's telling them to do this. This is one of the dumbest things in the world, and I watch a lot of football. Jenna, can you please put up the picture of what these social justice messages must be? So it's got to be one of 5. They can choose on their own. So Jenna, you have the NFL pick. You can choose end racism, stop hate, choose love, inspire change, or it takes all of us. Once again, that's end racism, stop hate, choose love, inspire change. It takes all of us. I don't know who's advising this, but this is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You're never going to find one human being on the planet that, let's say they're super racist. They hate browns, they hate blacks, they hate yellows, they hate whites, blah, blah, blah. They're watching a football game and they go, you know what? I'm no longer racist. I'm no longer, I don't like Asian. I love Asians now. You know what? I got a special guest that's in right now. Let's see if he would like to comment, because I have a feeling he would like to rage on this a little bit. Jenna, is our special guest coming on, or is he not yet? Oh, not yet. Okay, but I'll keep raging for him. This is one of the dumbest things in the world. This is like Psych 101, that the more you try to get someone to do something, the less they're going to do it. If you've ever been married, this is a tale as old as time. All right. You try to get your spouse to do something, they're never going to do it. If you make it feel like it's their idea, 100% they're going to do it. This is just stupid. No racist person is going to look and go, wow, I guess I'm back. I love white people now, even though I hated them 5 minutes before the quarter started. All it's going to do is push the people that are a borderline to even be more racist. It would make me, if I was a racist person, just say, well, I don't like them anymore. It's no different than my 14-year-old son, Damon Dale. He's thin. He doesn't want to eat breakfast. Every morning I tell him, eat breakfast, hurry up, eat breakfast. You got to grow. You got to eat. You got to eat. You got to eat. You got to eat. The more I say it, the less he does it. Tomorrow I'm going to tell him, you know what? I don't want you to eat breakfast anymore. I'm going to save some money. Tomorrow he'll probably want to go to a damn buffet. So it's one of those things of, I don't know who's advising them on this. I just think it's one of the dumbest things on the planet. It's inspiring no one. It makes everyone just go, this is dumb. Like, this is a no-brainer. Speaking of an absolute full brainer is great Nick Umble of Sentinel Strength. I heard, Umble, that Jenna told me that you were a little fired up when you talked to you about my topics today. Let's go back. Did you see the AI interview? Did you get to see this?
Which, no, I literally was playing college football on my PlayStation in senior test.
Okay, I want to go back to this. Jenna, can you pull that video up again if you still have it? I just want to get your quick take on it. This is Jim Acosta, former CNN anchor. He's interviewing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Okay, dude, it's gone. But so you've seen it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's what was he thinking?
What I mean, that's past the point of disgusting.
Yeah, I can't even fathom what was going through his mind when he decided to do that.
Well, he's going for clicks, number one. And I think what's even more disturbing than him doing it is the fact that his mother, the kid's mother, Joaquin Oliver, she's been talking to that AI daily for like 7 months, like having full conversations, because it rips everything that he's put on social media. So like I was telling Jenna, she could say, hey, Joaquin, today's Tuesday. What should we do? And he'll say, oh, Tuesdays are usually meatloaf night, Mom. Are you going to make meatloaf? But it's the AI version. Like, yeah, I'm not a psychologist, but that can't be healthy.
It's getting even worse. Like, do you use Grok, like the standalone app?
Oh yeah.
So I stopped using the standalone Grok app because there's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of glitches in it. Like there's ChatGPT 5, and there was a guy that online that he rated like Grok, Gemini, another one in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was far and above better than any of the ones giving you some sort of semblance to the truth. But Grok is now turned into like Ari is basically a sex bot.
Yeah. And Ari is like the mythical. There's Ari and Valentina. They're mythical, I guess, mascots you call them, that are on there.
It's basically
anime mascots. Anime just is like nerd version for animated people that don't know. And it's gotten, and Elon for Grok is putting out new updates like literally every 4 hours. That's how fast it's growing. So the AI that we just showed with that Joaquin Oliver, you could tell it was AI, but it could fool you. But it's one of those things that, what's this going to be like in a year, let alone 2 years, let alone 10 years?
Have you ever seen the podcast, The Diary of a CEO? He's a British dude, black British guy. Really, he's got some really good podcasts. He just had one on there with 2 AI people. And they're saying that the more you use ChatGPT and Grok, the more we're going to dive into dementia, because there is a serious test score when brains are scanned. So it's these 2 guys that are neurologists. One of them scanned more brains than anyone in the world. And he talks about, well, you're scanning a brain while people are using ChatGPT. You see the crossing of neurons in the brain decreases immensely because you're making it easier. So some people will put things into it, and then like my dog almost died this past weekend, and I couldn't figure out what's wrong with it. So I was like in there, like, these are the symptoms going on. This is what the blood work said. I put the blood work in, and I was going through and asking it questions, trying to self-correct it to find out what was going on. But a lot of people don't do that. They just ask it for a simple answer, and whatever it spits out, that's what they regurgitate. And so we're not using brain power to solve problems anymore. We're just using ChatGPT to solve the problem.
Oh, 100%. And shout out to Brian Jodas. He said, great time. I'd love to see you guys. Shout out to Jodas out in North Carolina. Follow him on social media on X. He's doing some great things with school choice out there. But I was just talking to one of my athletes that he goes to let's say a Northwest college. And he was telling me that all of his homework assignments, all of his classroom assignments, everything's done by ChatGPT. They're not allowed to go to class. Even the tests he did ChatGPT. And I said, so you've gotten dumber since you went to college. He goes, 100%.
What? 100%. So that's crazy to me, because at Liberty, they are insanely, like, it's almost at a jackass level of, we're going to scan every paper that you write or every discussion question you write to see if there's any AI generated content. And then there's levels.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
I got hit with a level 2, and I didn't use ChatGPT. And because I use Grammarly, I got hit with a level 2. Like, this says that there has been some sort of AI algorithm used to make it sound better. Well, like, I use Grammarly because it makes it sound better. Otherwise, so I don't sound like a total jackass.
Well, no, this just proves that you're not even human, like I've been saying for years.
And so they hit me with like, I was like, I didn't use any ChatGPT or any Grok or any of that stuff. I used Grammarly, which is, everyone uses Grammarly. It's a thing for anybody in business uses it. And they were like, oh, that's a level 2 violation. That's considered AI generated content. Oh yeah, dude. And so they were like, we're not. So I tried to CLEP out of a class. They wouldn't let me CLEP out of the class. They were, you have to take it. And it was like an anti-terrorism national security class.
I'll say that your example is one of, let's say, 50, and all 49 others are the other way that I've heard.
That's crazy, because if you use any AI generated things at Liberty University, man, they will bump, dude, here, hit the road, Jack. Don't come back to this college anymore.
No, I get it. So in our accept and embrace comment or category, the NFL, who is advising them to do these social media or social justice messages? Jenna, do you have those again that I can read them? End racism, stop hate, choose love, inspire change. It takes all of us. In your humble opinion, has this changed one person's opinion at all, or just flipped it the wrong way?
No, and I don't want to go listen to sports athletes talk about their political views. I want to go watch you play football. Yeah. I want to watch you play basketball. I don't want you to start wearing shirts that say pay you what you owe us, and you're too stupid to understand economics. Therefore, if you actually were paid part of the revenue share you want, every WNBA player would owe $131,000 back because they lose $25 million a year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear it. I want you to play the sport you're paid for. And if you want to use a platform down the road, great, but not during the time that you're in the building or you're playing the sport. Like, you're at work. Let's not talk about that. You want to do it
it's 2025. We're not at the COVID 2020 era where it was as woke as possible. Like, it feels like we've jumped the shark, Arthur Fonzarelli style, Happy Days reference. Maybe some people get that, so they don't. But we've jumped the shark and we're past it. And they're still pushing this end racism. You know, it takes all of us. Like, guys, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? And then with the Panthers have a transgender cheerleader. The Patriots and the Vikings have two dude cheerleaders. Now, I'm not throwing bones at dude cheerleaders because
no.
thing.
But do you see the difference?
I'm going to show you the difference right now.
The difference is not what you think it is.
No, because we've all grown up with male cheerleaders, and they are the biggest, baddest human beings. At UCLA, there was
strength those guys have. Is ridiculous.
Well, Jenna, do you have the thick, strong cheerleader video? This doesn't even look real. This looks like AI.
Oh, dude, this guy.
Okay, so let's be honest. She's probably 4'5", 89 pounds, but that dude is just launching her with one arm, and that's the way. Okay. And then Joda says, my guy from USF is a freaking unit. 100%. They're all yeah. And then I know the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs would never do any of this. Oh, Shoresy would never allow that. Number one, greatest show on TV. But it's one of those things that, okay, everyone's cool with male cheerleaders. We got it. They're big, they're bad, they're buff, they're studs. I mean, like I said, I partied with them at UCLA, and none of them were 6 feet tall, but they were 220
That's not what
pounds.
They're doing at Minnesota, dude.
But so Jenna, can you show us Minnesota Vikings new cheerleader?
It's not what they're doing.
Who advised them on this?
It's like, dude. It's Tim Walz in the state of Minnesota, bro. You know what's going on there.
I know, but come on, man. Like, how does this get run up the flagpole and someone doesn't say, like, by the second person, like, guys, this is not a good thing? I'm assuming our audience is like 98% dudes, and out of those 98%, we'll say 85 are probably pretty, macho men, so to speak, or think they are. Who is this playing to? I don't get it. Do you have the answer?
I don't, dude. I don't. This is ridiculous to me. I do not understand what we are doing as a society in a certain point of this.
Well, and okay. So let me take you to my next topic. We're going to just jump right through here because you're going to like this one too. Because I know you've told me before off topic that you do this. Working hard is not enough. Jen, just show me the first picture. Let's get real fired up because I think I actually tagged you on this on social media. Tipping, it says it's a screen, leave a tip, not optional. Okay. And the bill is $16.50. It's rude not to, it says. The minimum, it says 30%. Next is 35. Then it jumps to 50%, or you can do a custom tip. But it says it's not optional. Umble, what are you doing in that situation? Because I'll tell you right now what I'm doing.
No. And I'm a big tipper. Like, I'll go to Waffle House by myself. I'll get a waffle. I'll get 6 eggs with 2 pieces of cheese scrambled and a side of hash browns, like burnt. That's like what, $16? And I will hand over a $20 bill as a tip. Like, I'll pay with my credit card and give her a $20 tip. Every time I go to Waffle House, I give her a $20 tip. I'm a huge tipper. However, when we are in a society that it is deemed necessary to tip, fuck you, I'm not doing it.
Well, that's the exact same thing. Goes back to those slogans. Like, you're trying to tell me what to do. Okay. And so I'm not going to do it now. Number one, did you just say, however, comma? Did you throw in your own comma instead of just pausing?
I did.
Okay. And Humble, you brought up Waffle House. Have I ever told you about my Waffle House story?
I've heard, dude, it's been years. I've heard it, but it has been a long
I'm going to tell
time.
for those that have never experienced a Waffle House. If Denny's is here, Waffle House is about here. I mean, I'm
Waffle House, man.
Okay. I don't even, there's not one within 500 miles of me. The last one and the only one I've been to was in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was there for football camp. We go in because everyone says you got to go to Waffle House.
It's an experience.
It was an experience. My waitress comes over, takes my order. Her voice is 3 levels deeper than yours. She's probably 55, 60 years old, but looks about 75. She's been smoking since probably age 4. And I'm saying Marlboro Reds, Camel non-filters, no menthols. She's going straight. Probably rolls her own at this point in life. She comes over, takes my order, and I get just, an omelet or whatever. She comes back with my order, and this is not a lie, Humble. She's got the 2 plates here, and she's got a lung dart. She's got a damn cigarette hanging out of her hand, and it's got an ash. If the cigarette is 3 inches, the ash is 1.5 inches of it. And I'm looking around, and I immediately look, and I go, I've got to be getting filmed right here. There's no way this is real. Like this, I'm on Jackass or some sort of comic show. And she's like, "Here you go, honey," and just gives me my food. And I'm just like, her ash is going to go into my Denver omelet at this point, but it doesn't. Somehow she just walks away. And I just eat, and I go, this will be the last time I'm ever eating at a Waffles and More. And from what I hear, that's pretty standard.
I've never seen anybody smoke in a Waffle House, but
this is a waitress.
Jenna, when we lived in Illinois and I was playing at Lindenwood, after the season was over, we went to the Titans Colts game in Indy. And Jen had never been to a Waffle House before, and I took her to one, and bro, even I was like, this is a hard pill for me to swallow, man. However, I have a Waffle House like 4 minutes down the road, man, and I'm a frequent flyer there. I walk in, and my order just gets handed to me, dude.
John Quiggle says it's good grub. It is, but I don't know if I need a Marlboro Red in my omelet.
I've never seen that in a while. I've never seen that,
dude. And I don't know if the older people will get the reference. She looked exactly like Flo from that show Alice, where she had like the red beehive, and it was real spunky.
What year was this?
It had to have been 15 years ago.
Oh, so before like the government went like after big tobacco and
it was 2000. No, 15 years ago was 2010. It wasn't that long ago. Humble, 2010. Jonas has a great one that says, "How about this?" Yeah, John Quiggle says, "Kiss my grits." Yeah, that was her line. Brian Jonas says, "How about this rule? If I'm standing, I'm not tipping." Ooh, I like that.
That's a good one.
That's a really good rule. Yeah, but going back to the tip, because you flustered me with your however, comma. I've never heard anyone do that. And Jenna just said you do it all the time.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Okay. I guess maybe I should throw it in so people understand that why don't you just pause though?
This started years ago. This was an inside joke when I was in the Q course.
Oh, okay.
Like 20 years ago.
Okay. Okay. I don't want you to yell at me. Okay. So tipping, we both agree, has gotten way out of town. For me on that one, I would turn it around. I go custom tip $1 or whatever it is. Because what are you getting at a coffee? It's not like, they are bringing it, making bricks in the back. That's just, they're handing me something. You're not doing it. It's actually perfect that you're on here. I saw this picture of an animal fight, and I want you to tell me who you think you got. Okay, Jenna, you got the animal pick? It says, for those on Spotify and iTunes, there's a tiger, a lion, a bear, and a hippo.
Non-negotiable. Hippo.
$100 million. Which animal could you survive against for 20 minutes? You're saying hippo?
Oh, survive against?
Yeah, it says survive against.
Bro, you're not living on any of them fucking 4 animals.
For 20 minutes.
Which is, in my opinion, the most dangerous in that thing is a hippo.
100% is a hippo. You've heard that story about who was that drug cartel guy where he was
Pablo Escobar owned he owned like 8 of them, and they got loose, and now there's a hippo problem in Colombia.
Well, no, because he wanted a zoo. He wanted a zoo. He bought like an island. He wanted a zoo, and that was the only animal that he couldn't get illegally was a hippo, because no one's like, even for him, they're like, no, man, it's too violent of an animal because they're fast, they can swim, and when that jaw goes down, it's game over. Like it's not puncturing you, it's biting through you. And so he finally got some hippos. They swam off the island because they go like 30 miles per hour, and whatever town was next to him got invaded, and now the town is just run by hippos. Like because you can't shoot them. It pisses them off.
It's the second largest, if I'm not mistaken, from listening to that documentary a couple of years ago. It is like the second most populated place on the planet with hippos, and it's overrun. And they're like, I didn't know this. They're worse than, so have you seen the documentary about them introducing wolves into Yellowstone and how it changed the topography? Because like when you're talking about a bunch of herbivores like deer and elk and bison, they just eat everything. They don't give a fuck. They got no predators. But the minute the predators came, the grasses started to grow back. The hippos are worse than like that, because that's all they do. They munch everything and they just destroy everything.
Yeah, and they'll eat literally anything. It's like a goat, but on steroids.
You know the rhyme for bears in Alaska, right?
Oh, if it's blacks.
If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, good night.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's go back to the picture, Jenna. It's Pablo Escobar. Just type in hippos zoo, and something will come up. So Jenna, go back to this picture again. So, see, the problem with a bear, I've heard bears don't fight to kill. Like they've been known to swipe at you, rip your guts out, and then just leave you they'll come back to you.
Yes.
Okay. So that's bad. The lion, you've got claws and the big fangs.
But the lion's not going to fuck with you unless he's hungry.
I mean, do you almost just jump into the hippo's mouth and just create game over? Because you're not. See, for me, I don't want the long distance pain of this.
The hippo's instant, dude. You're just gone.
Well, that's what
harm.
And I've seen the Revenant. Doesn't Leo get raped by a bear? Basically, I don't want that.
Pretty bad.
I think you got to go tiger. If you're really
Dude,
like,
have you
okay,
seen the pictures of tigers and what they do to people in India?
Hey,
they
man,
come out of the jungle.
Yeah, I'm saying we got 20 minutes. Okay. Brian Jota says Leo from the Revenant knows about laying down for bear. He played dead with the bear. Their cat's out for blood, and the hippo bite will break your body in half. I understand, Jodis, but now I'm asking,
gotta be the bear.
Yeah, but see, what if the bear does one of those swipes and
it doesn't matter? He's not eating you. Yeah, but if he swipes at my rib cage and just like removes my lungs and ribs, it's directed by your ribs.
I might survive for 20 minutes and get the 100 million, but I can't get plastic surgery to fix that.
Oh, you got a wife with kids, bro.
John Quiggle says none. I think the answer is just you're done. It's game over. Insert token. Type in name. I think it has to be. All right, we're going to move on. I'm going to have one more segment with you just real quick. Confidence is the key. Jenna's got 5 quick questions for me. Jenna, let's go through them and let's see if Umble has any thoughts on these. I know he's going to have thoughts on one of them because he already showed me 3 of them. Rubio, what are your thoughts on Howard Stern getting canceled? I think it's fantastic. I think the guy was groundbreaking in the 90s when he was a shock jock. But then I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he flat out said, if you voted for Trump, I don't want you listening. Well, that's half the country, dude. No wonder your ratings went down. That's just stupid. And then he had that softball interview with Joey B where it was, I mean, there's a point to having a softball interview and there's a point to like, you're embarrassing yourself, bud. And then during COVID, I think he stayed in his house for almost 4 years. Like he just didn't leave the house because he was so scared. Jenna, can you fact check that one for me? Just type in how long did Howard Stern stay in house for COVID. I want to say it was 3 to 4 years where he would not leave because he was so scared of it. And so what do I think about it? I think he deserved it. So, Humble, you have any thoughts on that? You gave a thumbs up?
No, I think the guy's a clown. I think he's been a clown the whole time, right? There's this story, and I don't know who the actress was, but she was going through like a shitty time and like had stopped drinking.
Oh,
and,
it was the girl from Different Strokes.
Yeah, and he like would not let off of like the booze deal. That's who he is. In my opinion, he's a bully that had a fucking microphone, and then he just acted like an asshole to people and thought it was funny. And then over time, it just cascaded into worse shit.
Yeah, and then he became just mentally broken. Jenna said Howard Stern stayed in his home for 2 years, didn't leave. Dana Plato, Quiggle, the girl, the blonde girl from Different Strokes, and she had a kid too, and she ended up killing herself. I think like a week
next
after.
day.
Was it next day?
The next day, that night, like the next night, she was done.
Jesus. All right, Jenna, number 2. Rubio, have you ever thought about legally changing your name? I actually have thought about it, just switching it just to Rubio, because no one calls me Chris to the point, like even my wife calls me Rubio. And if someone if I'm in a public space and someone says Chris or Christopher, I don't turn. I don't ever turn anymore because no one does it. So I someone will be like, "You're being rude," and I didn't even hear you, because I would say for 35 years, probably even longer than that, everyone just called me Rubio. So I might need to look into that. I'll be like Cher or Madonna. But what are your thoughts on me switching my name to just one?
I mean, no one even knows you have a first name that's Chris. Nobody I know. I don't know anybody that calls you Chris or Chris.
No one does. No one does. I don't even think my mother does. Okay. Deb calls you Christopher. Terry, no, she doesn't. I can't really. She usually just drops an ass bomb on me. Or what are you doing? Jonas, thanks for coming out. He says, got to go. Fun hanging with you guys. Love you. Love you too, bud. Number 3. This is the one where I know Humble's going to have an opinion on. Rubio, what are your thoughts on Trump's meeting with Putin and Zelensky? All right. So,
well, Zelensky didn't show up.
Well, Zelensky, he showed up in a suit, which they asked him to do. But he had no time.
Alaska. I thought he didn't show up in Alaska.
No, he came to the White House. He wasn't invited to Alaska.
Yeah, he
wasn't invited to Alaska. He went with all the other members of the EU to DC like 2 days later. So you got El Trumpo, who's 80 years old, flying from DC to Alaska, back to DC to meet with him like 48 hours later. And it was more of just, okay, we got to start wrapping this up. And El Trumpo even gave him a little crap like, hey, so if the United States was in a war in 3.5 years, should we not have an election? Because Zelensky stopped their election. And he kind of chuckle. And he's like, okay. But the one with Putin, and body readers are doing all over this, all on this one. They're watching it, blah, blah, blah. I thought this was a masterclass of trolling, where El Trumpo meets him on the red carpet. El Trumpo waits at a certain spot, so Putin has to go all the way to him. Okay. If you'll notice, El Trumpo does the classic shake, but he pulls him in. And it's you'll see Trump do 2 things where when he shakes someone's hand, he either shakes it and pulls you in, or he goes up high and pushes you down. Okay. And so let's watch that. And then watch where he walks him to where it says like Alaska 2025 summit, blah, blah, blah. And then El Trumpo has the timing of Big Ben on this one. I don't know how the hell he timed this up, but he has the timing of the B-52 bomber to go right over where Putin looks up and sees it. And there's 2 other, I think, F-18s, and El Trumpo doesn't even look up. Just had it timed up. So, Jen, do you have this clip?
Look at F-35.
I would have paid money to know what he said to him right there. I would have paid money to know what he said. That like just, hey, see that? We got like 10 of them.
Well, the caption on that was, we can reach out and get you anywhere.
Yeah, literally anywhere. And you can't see us coming. I mean,
Speaking of military, have you seen the Tucker Carlson podcast with the guy about 23 unsolved murders at Fort Bragg?
No, I have not. Is it good?
Dude, it makes, I don't know what that guy, first off, when the guy starts talking, if you're going to talk military, you better be fucking smart. And if you did 5-6 years in the military, you better be fucking on your game. When you're a bumbling idiot talking about the unit and you're a bumbling idiot talking about special operations, like I lose interest very quick in you, right? You either know your shit or you don't. And you prove
you think he's lying or telling the truth?
No, there's just, there's a lot to do it. Then there's the same guy. I think his name's Han. He was in the military for 6 years. He comes out, he's on Tucker Carlson. He publishes this book. I don't remember the name of the book. But in the book, some chick that used to do covers for some of the operators in the unit gives like a play-by-play on tradecraft. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? And then he's like, well, there's 23 unsolved murders and this happened and that happened. And he makes it sound like the MPs and the local lawyers and the local jurisdictions and the local law enforcement are all in cahoots to keep all of these dudes from having anything happen to them. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know anyone in the unit would get away with any of the shit those guys are talking about. Like, you fucking would have been gone. And then Brett Tucker, who is a former unit guy on the Antihero podcast, is like, 90% of the shit he says in that book, like they would have launched people out of the fucking unit for that. Like I've seen people get launched out of the unit for less. So you can watch it, but it is causing an entire massive shit show within this USASOC and the JSOC community at Fort Bragg right now. Because he
Jenna
put out
says
yesterday, there's
Jenna says she just saw it. He's a journalist. Of course, he talks like that. So I'm going to have to watch it. Okay. I saw it and I haven't watched it yet or listened to it, whatever you want to talk it. But okay. So I'll definitely go that. But what would be the timing that El Trumpo would have to make that flyover happen to where it goes over right when they're about to hit the stage?
All those guys do. That's a B2, right? And it's probably out of Whiteman. And those guys do flyovers over stadiums all the time. Like they know exactly. That stuff's all choreographed, man.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get that.
It's going to be here at this time. It takes the old man this long to walk this far. This bird needs to be inbound on this call, right? All that stuff is choreographed, man. And those guys understand that because those pilots fly NFL games and they fly a ton of college football games, right? So all of that stuff is dude, trust me, the radio calls are to the fucking second on that stuff.
Well, they have to be. And I mean, what a flex. Terry Crosby says the B2 flyover was epic and classic El Trumpo. I agree. Some people are like, oh, it's grandstanding. 100% it is.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're meeting with one of the leaders of the world. I mean, and like you said, you're just showing I can get you at any point, like any point, whenever I want.
I mean, that's a whole that was the bird that just bombed Iran, your buddy.
Yeah, the one that threw it down like a coffee can from 50 miles in the air, and we did it twice, Top Gun Maverick style.
Those guys are good, man.
Unbelievable. Jenna, you got another one for me? Rubio, if Taylor Swift does a Vegas residency, would you take Jenna? Hell no. I'm not going to that. Number one, I can't afford it. Number two, I saw one of my athletes went and saw her in Denver. Parking at the stadium was $500. Parking. So he ended up parking like a quarter mile away or 2 miles away and just Ubering in because every parking, it was like an Arrowhead Stadium or something like one of those. And every single one was $500.
That's what we did for the Rose Bowl. We Ubered from a hotel because parking was like $150 and it was packed traffic, but that's for a Rose Bowl. That was the first ever college football playoff game that we went to. It was Oregon, Florida State. And it wasn't even close to $500. That shit is insanity, dude.
Yeah, and you know how many parents are paying that because teeny bopper daughter wants to see that? No, Jenna, you're not going to the Vegas residency of T Swizzle. Next question.
Vegas is out of control. I have not been in probably 25 years, and I'm headed back to Vegas in 3 weeks for nationals. And I heard that Vegas is just out of control expensive.
Well, they're trying to because not as many people are going, but they don't realize that you're going to get less people if you keep charging. So I know a lot of places are not charging for parking anymore because it used to be like $50 a night. And now they're saying, okay, I just saw someone 12 beers at the pool, $299. Like you're not going to get people to go. You know, it's one of those things.
$300 for a 12-pack
at the pool. Yeah. So it's one of those. And then, yeah, like Jenna says, they always have the resort fees of, hey, by the way, you're here, but there's a resort fee plus the casino fee, plus the tax fee, plus the suntan lotion fee, plus the bald guy fee. And then all
I've heard that I watched the thing the other day that said it's so expensive. Tourism's down, like it's down over 50% now. Like,
well, yeah. And they're trying to make it up with people that are still there. And it's like, guys, you need to bring people that can go and spend $100 a day on food and drinks and survive.
Vegas was so much better when the mob ran it and they were using it as money laundering, not big business.
I'm not joking. I've been in probably 10 cabs that have said the exact same thing. Old Italian cabbies. And they're like, I love Vegas so much more when the mob ran it. At least we knew who was taking our money. And they're dead serious. Like they're not joking.
Well, think about it. I remember going when my parents and I and my sister always took a family vacation. In my senior year in high school, we went to Vegas over Christmas, New Year's. We were in Vegas for like 6 days, went down to Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, all that stuff. And I went back to Vegas probably 7 years later on my way to Fort Lewis. And because I have a buddy that lives in Vegas. And I remember like eating at a restaurant that you could get a buffet for like $10. Oh, yeah, all you can eat for $10. And now buffets are somewhere between 60 and $80.
When I was in college, UCLA was about a 4-hour drive in Vegas. And I'm not going to say that several times at night at 10 p.m., you know, you're young and stupid. You'd be like, what do you guys want? You want to go to Vegas? And 5 of us would pile into a car, go to Vegas, get there by 2 a.m, hang out until 7 a.m, and then just drive back. But like you said, you could go to get a buffet, fill up. You could even get a hotel room for like $25 if you wanted to. Well, this is back before when you could do Southwest Airlines. I think there was $19.99 from like LAX to there. And it was back before 9/11. So you used to be able to bring your own cooler on the plane.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So you just let it. Yeah. And I remember one time we were on it, and because the flight from LAX or Ontario to Vegas is 27 minutes. The stewardess at Southwest was literally just, okay, guys, we got a fast one here. We got a big push wind or whatever it's called, tailwind. And they were just rolling beers down the aisle. And if you got it, you got it. And that was your flight. But this was pre 9/11. All right, Jenna, last question. Rubio, have you seen girls fight like this? I'm assuming there's going to be a video. This has got to be somewhere in Canada. Jesus. Okay. Well, where is that, Jenna? That's some sort of Canadian? And is it happening often there? If so, why aren't Winnipeg? Yes. Why don't the cops jump in and stop it?
It's Canada.
This seems to me like a very easy one, which if someone's not going to stop it, they're going to keep doing it. This is no different than no idea, she says. Well, Humble, does this not kind of bring it up to the DC getting taken over by El Trumpo? Where, you know, DC was a hellhole. I mean, I just talked to a couple families that were just there months ago, and they said, "Oh my God, it's so bad." We
won't go back. I live 50 miles from DC. I won't go down there. I won't take Jen down there.
So I forgot you live right there. It's that bad.
Yeah. When I first got here in 19, we walked the mall. You know, we did all the tourist things because she had never been here before. Mm-hmm. And then every time someone came out, my parents came out, we took them down there. One of the kids come out, we took them down there. And when we lived in the first year, we lived in Virginia, we went down there probably a dozen times. And then we probably went down there maybe 3 or 4 times since we lived in West Virginia. But since COVID, dude, I remember going down there during COVID and they had like every restaurant boarded up. And then anytime there was an inclination of like violence, they would board the city up again. And it just got more lawless. And then the mayor just ties MPD's hands and are like, you can't arrest anybody. And if you do, we're just going to let them go. So the cops were like, well, this is pointless. I'm not going to risk my life because this dude's probably caring. You're going to try to stab me. Like, I'm not doing it.
Well, Humble, you got to do this for me. In about 2 months, go back and just give us an update. Like, okay, I went back and it's actually decent now.
Oh, I'm going to wait longer than that.
Okay. I'll
wait till around Christmas time to go back.
Okay. You can wait about Christmas time. That's fine. That's no problem. Humble, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. Jenna told me you were super fired up and I was like, let's get him on. Fantastic. I love BS with Humble at all times.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. I was downstairs. Jen had just gotten home, and I was like, "Oh shit, Rubio podcast! I gotta go."
Well, tell Jen I said hello.
She said, "Tell him what
And everyone go check out Sentinel Strength on YouTube. It's a phenomenal podcast hosted by the great Nick Umble.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Later.
All right, so let's go to the final. The bottom line is all the stuff that you should have learned without even realizing you learned it. Number one, even though it can be much harder, maybe it's just time to let go. This goes back to the AI thing. I don't know where I sit on this because I've never had someone super, super close pass away, but that cannot be healthy. It just cannot. Number two, if you are getting a handout, maybe start to plan ahead. Okay, this goes back to the SNAP benefits. If you're getting a handout, start to plan ahead because they're going to start to become very, very, very limited. Number three, know your audience. Know your audience. NFL, what are you doing, guys? Know your audience. I want to thank Nick Umble and, of course, the great Jenna. We will not have a show next week, but we'll have one the following week on that. You can download on Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and, of course, Instagram and TikTok as well. I'm putting out a lot of great content. Thank you again to Jenna. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget, we got The Ride with Chevy and Nasty at 9:30 and AC Sports Live at 9. Jenna, I'm out.
Thanks for watching The Rubio Method. Be sure to spread the word and don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.